video in YouTube. Hi. Oh, wow. Look at those muscles. I'm pumped. I did shoulders today and back, so everything is boom, pow. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon today. What a wonderful way. Thank you for joining us today. My email is okay. So we're gonna say hi for a few seconds, and then we're gonna start dealing with. Today we're talking about. Oh, yes, I did. Make sure that I have my phone on airplane mode. Please send me your information. Right now, Janet, this is a bad time. I'm competing in about 2 weeks, less than 10 days. I won't be able to do anything after May 5th. You can text me and then I cannot do anything. I'm doing this today because I don't think I won't do anything next week. I'm in my last 10 days of my competition. So next time, next after the 5th. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Daniela Perez. Hola. We are doing English today. And what we're going to be talking about today is about boundaries. Why it's so important to set healthy boundaries. And you're going to find all that in my book number 3. Book number 3, you will find everything that I'm in more detail what we're talking about today. So today, let me put my book right there as an inspiration and motivation. I don't know what you use for inspiration and motivation, but I use myself. Oh, Lord, thank you. So today, let me calm down. Here I am excited. I'm every time I'm with you guys, it's like the greatest date. When I'm with you guys, it's to me it's the best date of my life. Okay, so I need to use my self control. Okay, but this is so powerful. I mean, setting boundaries. And what happened is a lot of time we don't give our boundaries the importance that it has. And sometimes then you start wondering why things happen the way it happened, why people don't respect you, why people lie to you, or people do things that you don't like. But the reason people don't like is because you have tolerated behavior that is unacceptable. Once you accept it, then people think they can keep doing it. And that is why if you find yourself that, people violate your boundaries, then here we go. So let me go. I'm going to start now. And after you can hold the thought, hold your questions. After I finish doing my presentation, I will read your comments and your question. Remember, we are in Instagram, we are in TikTok, and we are in my YouTube channel. We are taping this lesson for my YouTube channel. So, setting healthy boundaries is an act of self-care and self-respect. It involves defining and maintaining clear limits around our physical, emotional, and mental space. Allows us to protect our energy and maintain our focus on what truly matters to us. Okay? So why is so important to set boundaries? And sometimes I think we don't, like I said, it's just we don't give the value to boundaries that they have. Setting healthy boundary is an act, number one, of self-respect. If you have self-respect, then you will set boundaries. It's also an act of self-care. If you care about yourself and you have self-respect, you're not going to tolerate anybody to walk all over you and do whatever they please with your money, your time, and your energy. Without boundaries, we run the risk of being overwhelmed and drained by the demands and expectation of others. Yesterday, I got a text, I got a message. Hi, Patricio, nice to see you. Uh, I got a text from a lady that says that she's overwhelmed because of her family, her kids. And then what I said to her, I replied, what boundaries? Because if you don't have, you cannot make the time for yourself, for self-care, then you're in trouble. You're gonna be good for nothing. So without boundaries, we run the risk of being overwhelmed and drained. How many of you feel overwhelmed and drained by the demands of others, by the demands and expectation of others? We may find ourselves constantly saying yes to things that deplete us, or we allow others to cross our boundaries without consequences. Number one, if you feel exhausted, if you feel frustrated, and you feel tired, and you don't have time for this, and you don't have time for that, start evaluating your boundaries. What is it that are you allowing people to put demands on you that you don't have time to take care of yourself? And if you don't have time to take care of yourself, you're in trouble. Because once you're dead, once you're sick, once you're in a bed, once you're in a hospital, let me calm down, baby. Calm down. I'm so freaking passionate for this because it's personal care, it's personal respect, it's personal growth. So we are constantly saying yes to other things, to people, expectation. People have, everybody has expectation about you. But the most important expectation is the one that you have for yourself. The expectation that you have to fulfill is the expectation that you have for yourself. Forget about everybody else. And that includes everybody else. Okay? Because if you're not good to yourself, you cannot be good to anybody. I don't buy into that belief system. So what happened? You feel depleted. You allow people to violate, to cross your boundaries without any consequences. And when people cross your boundaries and they don't pay the price for that, for violating your boundary, then what happens? You have a sense of resentment. You feel burned out, and you have a loss of identity. You find yourself lost. Imagine that. Imagine that you're living your life all your life, or part of your life, or this life, always saying yes to other people and not to you. No, you start telling yes to you and no to everybody else. No, 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 no. Me first, me first, me first. Okay. I think it's clear with this, right? I'm going to repeat this. Without boundaries, we run the risk of being overwhelmed, drained by the demands and expectation of others. Take a moment take a moment to think about that, to reflect about that. What's going on in my life? Why do I feel exhausted? Let me tell you one thing. When you are taking care of yourself, it's enough. Just taking responsibility for your well-being, your body, your mind, your spirit, that is a full-time job. So if you are fulfilling the expectation and demands of other people, no wonder you are burnt out, you have lost your identity, you feel exhausted, you feel tired, you don't have a sense of what's the purpose of my life. By setting and enforcing healthy boundaries, and let me stop here. Today is the teacher in me. By setting and enforcing or reinforcing, what happens is that people set boundaries, but they don't reinforce them. It's the same thing as you set boundary at home with your children, and the children are going to push. They're going to push everybody. Everybody is going to push the boundary. And if you tolerate that, you're in trouble. So when you set a boundary, you reinforce that, because the persons or people will assume that you're not serious, that you really you say something but you do something else. So you have to act, you have to preach, you have to go, what is the saying? You have to preach, practice what you preach. You cannot be saying this boundary and then they cross the boundaries and you don't no consequences. People have to pay the consequences of their choices. And if you allow them to get away with it, you're in trouble. By setting and reinforcing healthy boundaries, the key here is healthy, in which everybody is benefiting, respect for yourself and respect for others. When we set and reinforce healthy boundaries, we claim our power and our autonomy. When you set healthy boundary, you are reclaiming or claiming your power and autonomy. And we create a space for ourselves, and our priorities are first. Your priority has to be first. Your well-being has to be first. And you do that without feeling guilty or selfish. Because the thing is, you're so selfish. My kids, my daughters, when they were teenagers, they will tell me, you're so selfish. You only think about yourself. But praise the Lord, thank you, baby Jesus. I was so clear. I'm always being clear of who I am. So when my kids, they will tell me, you're so selfish. You only think about you, because I was taking care of myself. Now they doing it themselves. Now they taking care of themselves. They're making the time to do the exercises and to take care of their well-being so they can be good for everybody else. So you have to divorce yourself from that they will accuse you of being selfish and feeling guilty. Don't do that. Let them say, especially your kids and your family, because once you don't take care of yourself. If I didn't take care of myself at this point of my life, I will be in a elder home. I will be with wheelchair. I will be, God knows, but not me. But that has happened. The only reason I'm not like that is because I've been taking care of myself from day one, regardless of what my kids will tell me. They will tell me in my face, you're so selfish. You only think about yourself. And I will say, yes, of course. I need to exercise. I need to do my thing, because if I don't, I kill you. You want a healthy mama. Pero parece que no le gusta. No, mira, no te pongas, vete con tus necesidades a otro lugar, porque yo hago en español los lunes. Sí, ok, no, déjate de comiquería y salte de mi canal, porque esto obviamente no es para ti. I do Spanish on Mondays, so get away from me. Pow. Que te sentiste bien criticando. Espero que I hope you feel great. Okay. Now, setting boundaries allow us to conserve our energy for the things that truly matter to us, whether it's pursuing our passions, nurturing meaningful relationships, or simply taking time for rest and rejuvenation. This is beautiful. This is my specialty. Rest and rejuvenation. Okay, so boundaries, when you set boundaries, what's going to happen is that you have more time for yourself, because if you're busy fulfilling the needs of somebody else, especially people that doesn't matter to you, then you will conserve your energy. Remember, I always tell you, there's no one that respects your energy, your money, and your time better than you. No one. So when you by setting boundaries, allow yourself to conserve your energy for the things that truly matter to us. Like what? Pursuing your goals, pursuing your dreams, pursuing your passion, nurturing meaningful relationships, or simple, taking time for rest and rejuvenation. So when you're telling yourself you don't have time to pursue the thing that you want to do, you have to evaluate. You have to look, how am I wasting my time? But because every time that I'm doing something that is not taking me closer to my goal, to my dream, to my passion, I'm wasting my time. So you have to reflect and ask yourself, if this activity that I'm doing today is taking me closer to my goal, to my dreams. So boundaries also serve as a filter. Today, in this day, we have a lot of filters. I love filters. And one of the reasons I like filter, because it helps us to discern what is acceptable in our interaction with others. When you have boundaries, you can see, you can discern, like the thing that you will be willing to accept in your interaction with other people. There is some people that you don't like what they're doing or saying or behaving, and it's not congruent with your values. It's not congruent with the thing that you believe. Then your discernment is telling you, get away from this, get away from this. And the moment you disobey, or you don't obey your intuition, your gut feeling, you're in trouble. And you're in trouble. Also, boundaries enable us to communicate our needs and limits. When you set boundaries, you can be able, because you're clear. And when you're clear, you can communicate what is it, what are you willing to tolerate, what is negotiable, what is non-negotiable, and allow us to have that discernment. And so you are able, when you set boundaries, you are able to communicate your needs and limits, at the same time respecting the boundaries of others. Because this is the thing that I see in some of, not too many of my clients, but some clients, that when I see the relationships, and the dynamic of the relationship, I can see clearly that, yeah, you're expecting this person to respect your boundaries, but you don't respect the other person's boundary. So it has to be a two-way street. You cannot expect, oh, respect my boundaries, but I don't respect yours. No, do unto others as you want done unto you. So you respect, and one of the best way, in my opinion, to teach people about respecting your boundaries is by you respecting theirs. By example, when you are in the presence of these people who are disrespectful, and you act differently, you give a model, you give the example. That's very powerful, because it doesn't matter what you say, it's what you do. What is that saying? That say your action speaks so loud that I can hear what you're saying. What's speaking is your action. What are you doing is what's telling me what is important to you, or what is your values, or whatever. In doing so, when we respect other people's boundaries, in doing so, we cultivate healthier relationships built in respect and understanding. There's nothing more beautiful than have relationship that is based on respect and understanding. And part of the reasons so many people are unhappy in their relationships is because there is no respect, there is no understanding, there is no boundaries, there is nothing there. Just the routine. They have a routine, and they live life in a quiet desperation. Also, boundaries protect us from toxic influences and unhealthy dynamics. When you have boundary, you can immediately, what you do, remember when I said in the beginning, boundaries as is self-care and self-respect. So when you set boundaries, it's gonna protect you. Boundaries are protecting you. This is beautiful. I love it because my boundaries are protecting me from toxic influences. When you see toxic people, toxic influences, and unhealthy dynamics. When you see unhealthy dynamics, you get away from that. You don't have to participate in somebody else's drama. You don't. It's up to you. But you have to decide to really dedicate your life to your personal growth, to the personal development. So they're protecting you from toxic influences and unhealthy dynamic. They enable us to recognize. This is another thing what happen with boundaries. Boundaries allow you to recognize and address situations where your boundaries are being violated, whether it's in the workplace, in relationships, or in other areas of your life. Yes, thank you. By honoring our boundaries, we safeguard our emotional and mental well being, fostering a sense of empowerment and self respect. In essence, setting healthy personal boundaries is an essential aspect of self care and personal growth. Every person who is growing, developing, perfecting, and changing is the person that the more work you do on yourself, the easier it is for you to see in what areas of your life you have to establish, set, and reinforce or remind people about your boundary. This is another factor here. The factor that because people know you for years, your family members, but what people don't recognize and is that you are a person that are constantly growing. I'm talking about people who constantly work on themselves. People who are their mindset is about personal development, personal growth. And the person who's stuck in the mud, who's never growing, never changing, never improving, and people assume that you are the same person that you were 10 years ago. I'm not even the same person that I was yesterday. Totally different, totally different. So you have to remind, sometimes you have to do a refresher to people about what your boundaries are. That will allow you to cultivate a greater sense of balance and authenticity. There is nothing worse than living your life with no sense of who you are and what are you doing here, your purpose. What is the reason for existence? Why are you here? And that will give you a sense of that you are living a fulfilled life. You have a sense of fulfillment by honoring your boundaries. So, boundaries are essential for personal growth, for self care, for self respect, for empowerment, for respect. So, now I'm going to stop and I'm going to read your question and I'm going to say hi. And this is so if you have, remember everything that I just said, you find that in my book number 3. My book number 3 is about vibrant relationship, healthy relationship, and you find it in Amazon. Everything that you want to know about boundaries and good, happy, healthy relationship, you find in book number 3, and you find the book in Amazon. And with that, I say, pow, you say, wow. Pow! Now I will read your questions. What are the example of healthy boundary? Good question. Healthy boundary. Good question. Thank you so much, TikTok. A healthy boundaries are based on your value system. Example, I don't allow anybody to interfere with my gym time. The time that I allocated for my workout, nobody is going to interfere with that. Why? Because it's my values. So you have to look at your value system. What is it that you value? So if you value, like in my case, I value health. I value to be healthy. I value well-being. So that is an example. So remember, your values is gonna be your boundaries is gonna be based on your value system. So your value system is your example. You don't like people talking like with cursing words. You don't like that. That's your value. You set the boundaries. You can. So if you know what I mean. So I think I answered your question. So when your children, when I had my children, one of the boundaries was no drugs, no sex. You're teenager, you're not gonna be having sex. And I told my daughters, you get pregnant at 15 because 15 not to have babies. Okay, 15 you start a baby. So that was a no. That was a boundary, and it was consequences. The consequences of that was you get pregnant, you leave the house, you go with your boyfriend, you go do your family, whatever. I'm out of it. Okay, so that was a boundary. The same thing with smoking. No smoke in the house. One time I found the oldest one having a cigarette in the bathroom, and I gave her a slap in the face. You don't smoke in here. Smoking, drugs are not allowed. So, that was for me. I'm not suggesting. I'm telling people to go smack your kid. That worked for me. And to this day, my daughters tell me, "Mommy, thank you for not giving us junk food." That was another value. Not junk food in the house. We didn't eat junk food. So what happened? They will go to their friend's house to eat junk. That's fine. But no, here, I'm not gonna shop for junk food. So why? Because your boundaries are based on your value system. Whatever you value, and then what happens is if you have a value system and you don't have boundaries for people to respect your values, you're in trouble. You will be the type of person who are always exhausted, frustrated, aggravated, unhappy. You're fulfilling the demands of others, and you don't feel self-respect. You don't feel respect. That you are respected. And one of the things that people want more in life is to be respected, to be appreciated, that they count, and they are important. If you give those four elements to people, you have them eating by your hand. Hola, Dios te bendiga. Thank you, Virginia. Virginia, good afternoon. Okay, any other question? Okay, let me check here in Instagram. No está pasando nada. No sé, me está moviendo Instagram, no sé por qué. Okay. ¿Qué sucede con los padres que no den más? Asking question about parents that are very possessive. You have parents that are very possessive. I don't understand. I don't know. How do you... Those are parents that are sick parents. Those people who are a sense of possession. You don't possess your children. You don't possess anything. That's sickening. To me, that's a sign of mental, the person needs some kind of treatment, some kind of counseling. Because if you're going to be possessing, what do you possess? You don't even possess your body. One day you're going to drop dead, you're going to die. You don't even possess your human body. So this sense of possession, this sense of attachment is lack of development. Because how can you go through life thinking that you possess anything? And that is the reason for human suffering. The reason for human suffering is thinking that you own this. You don't own anything. Everything that you see in my surrounding is alone. God allowed me to have this body. God allowed me to have my car, everything. One day I'm going to turn it over. So when you're dealing with people, possessive people, and these people need help. And I'm not their coach, I'm not their psychiatrist, I'm not their psychologist. ¿Cómo hace para... Oh, I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about boundaries. So the only questions I'm taking have to do with boundaries. Okay? And I do Spanish on Monday. Los lunes es en español, los miércoles en inglés. Okay, so I'm only answering questions that have to do with boundaries because I think this is a subject that is underestimated. Yes, yeah. Monday's Spanish. Are we done now? Okay, so remember, book number 3, you find it in Amazon. This topic about setting healthy boundaries you find that the video in my YouTube channel. Come to my YouTube channel, Dr. Josefina. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Josefina, and you have this video forever. Every time that you need a refresher, you can come here and watch why it's so important to set healthy boundaries, okay? Melina, thank you so much. Thank you, Melina. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Beautiful. Perfect timing. Hola, hola, Marina. Hola, Ana. Hola, Gabriela. Hola, Daniela. So great to see you guys. So probably next week I won't be here. Okay, next week I will be focusing only on my competition. So you're welcome, Joemi. Joemi, gracias, Joemi. Thank you so much. Okay. Patricia, hola, ¿qué tal? Lenny, hola, ¿qué tal? Okay, my friends, so it's time for me to go. I say pow, you say wow. Let me give you the double bicep here. Feeling great. And now it's time to do my cardio. I have to do cardio. How to deal with pelvic. Oh, yeah, I already answered that. Wow. FIFA, excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, remember YouTube channel, come to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I'm always answering questions about boundaries. See, I put boundaries. If I'm teaching about boundaries, I have to set boundaries. This today, I'm only talking and answering questions about boundaries. See how you guys push? You keep pushing the boundaries, but I'm going to stay firm because I'm a very disciplined person. Wow. Habla. María, cuando quieres español es los lunes a las 2:30. ¿Ok? Los miércoles, English. Los lunes me puedes ver en español. ¿Ok? Thank you so much. ¡Ah! Vacilo, no veo lo demás. Okay, bye, guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys. And here, beautiful.